Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of There's No Place Like Summer Camp. You may hear that there's a slight difference, maybe in the audio quality or the surrounds, the background sounds, or the fact that I'm heavily out of breath. And you'd be right, it's a different kind of episode today. It's one where I'm on the road, and one maybe of a closure. So come on into our tent and I'll spill the beans. Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of There's No Place Like Summer Camp. I'm outdoors today. It's a nice day, middle of May. And I know I've missed a week of podcast episodes, and in that previous episode I told you guys about a house move going on, some changes in life, as everyone goes through. And I thought I'd do an episode today just to talk about where we go from here, because my current living situation doesn't really mean that I can continue to do the weekly episodes. It doesn't really make sense with my living arrangements and work schedules and boring stuff like that. And I'm at the point where I'm a bit confused, to be honest, on where to really take the podcast from here, because the podcast has always been like a place to promote the book, build a community of summer camp enthusiasts, and I guess just talk about camp, talk about things, interview people, and answer questions, provide a bit of entertainment. And it's been a really enjoyable project. I'm talking like as if I'm going to close off the podcast, which isn't the case. But I think the format certainly needs to be considered, because, like I say, the living arrangement's making a big impact. Let's try and cross the road here without trying to get run over. Successfully done, successfully executed. So the goal has always been to promote the podcast. Promote the podcast, promote the book. The book is out. This is the prime time for people to go to Camp America, volunteer. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a plane hovering above my head, because I'm under the what's it called? The airway? I'm under the airway? That doesn't sound right. I'm under where Manchester Airport have their planes take off. I don't think it's called an airway. The traffic routes, the traffic lines. Now I'm just thinking of a game I used to play on my iPhone, where I used to have to draw where the planes would go, so they'd all land safely. I'm getting on a bit of a tangent here. So I'm trying to think, like, the book is out, the book is available, it's been very exciting. I know it's a prime time for people to go to summer camp, but I think to get the best out of me and to get the best out of promoting the book and that sort of thing, I might need a bit of a change of approach, perhaps. I've just stopped here because there's a notice to the public saying my path I'm about to take will be done at my own risk because it's a private land. Avian bird flu is present in these waters. Under no circumstances remove any dead birds. I have to peer my head in. I won't go in. Oh, that looks kind of cool. Big pool over there. I want to just step in. If I get shot, you know why. These private landlords, which I've had up to here with, should I say, figuratively, recently, with landlords kicking us out of our house. I don't need any sort of tiny violins. I'm all good. We're coping. But yeah, let's get back onto the subject rather than talk about my forestry adventures. I think there's better ways to spend my time. The podcast has always been a creative outlet for me. It's always been a great thing to do and discuss because I have a deep passion for summer camp and how it changed me, how it changed loads of other people. And literally the living situation I have at the minute really doesn't help. It makes a complicated situation with recording podcasts every week and coming up with the ideas and recording the podcasts much more difficult because now I have a living situation that doesn't really allow me to do that. So, oh my god, I'm in some sort of quick, get out, I'm in squelchy feet area. So I've been trying to think, like, how should I progress with this, because I do enjoy doing it, and I think I have a somewhat vague solution. So at the minute we're on, I think, episode 84. I might be wrong with that. Might be 85. That's 84 or 85. Long form discussions about summer camp, all of the tips, everything that I could possibly think of is pretty much in the podcast episodes. And I think that's a great thing about podcasts, is it's always going to be there. Always going to be there for new people or old, and there's going to be interviews always there for you guys to go back and listen to. I'm so out of breath. I'm very tense. I need to loosen up. Yesterday, by the way, I went to a float tank. That was pretty cool. Never done a float tank before. Maybe I should go back again. Release all my anxieties. So I think in this episode, or going forward, I think going forwards, what I want to do is keep the podcast obviously alive. That's going nowhere. But I think I'm going to maybe change the approach. So rather than uploading every week, it's going to be once in a blue moon, I think, from now on. I think the episodes that I can tell from the analytics are doing the best are those with interviews. So I think I'll continue to try and find people that would want to be on the show. Talk to people that have done summer camp. Maybe bring up books that people release, review them, do that sort of thing. But as for the discussion related things, I think they're going to really take a back seat. And rather than doing the weekly podcast episodes, I think instead it might be smart to focus on alternate ways to get the great word of what volunteering with the likes of Camp America or any other volunteering agency is really like. It's been 84 or 85. Maybe it could be a number that's like totally unrelated to those, to be honest. But I think it might be a good time to just hang up the hat, in a sense, call it the close of series 2 of this show, because it's been fun. But the book is out, and I think there's better ways to help promote the book and working or volunteering at Camp America. So what do I have in mind as some examples? So I know that TikToks do very well. I know YouTube does well. For what is a really broad audience in those two websites, you could see, I don't know, 6 times the amount of people engaging with the content, helps get the word out there, helps get sales and that sort of thing. And now I'm not someone that's all about the money or anything like that, but I put 6 years into the book. And if you haven't gone and checked it out already, you can pick up the ebook of There's No Place Like Summer Camp. It should be around the time that you're listening to this. It should be discounted on Amazon as a Kindle version of the book. I think it'll be around £1 or whatever your equivalent is. Don't quote me on that. I still haven't set up the promotion, but I'm hoping to arrange like a special discount period where people can pick up the ebook, because I know a lot of people at this time are going for the first time, or maybe second or whatever time to their summer camp, and they want a bit of experience that's similar to it. So I'm going to try and do a discounted period where you can pick up the ebook for a discounted rate. If you don't have a Kindle, I'd highly recommend the paperback. That's my preferred option. There is also a hardback option too. So I think TikToks are going to be very important. I'm going to have to try and get very creative, maybe ask for the support of my younger siblings on some great ways to like create engaging content for selling a book and talking about summer camp and that sort of thing. What else? Like I say, YouTube, I think having a bit of a visual will help. And working on new projects. Like I say, it's not the end of this. I still intend to occasionally do interviews and uploads, and whenever some big piece of news comes up, definitely keep you guys in the loop, because I enjoy doing these. And the podcast has always, and the book have always been products of passion. And that sounds rather sexual, but I'll let you judge whether it is or not. So I think that's where my head's at the minute. Is I should try and reach a broader audience, and a lot of the time people don't even know about the podcast, let alone the book, and it's just to get the word out that, hey, I exist, is going to be easier done where there's a massive following already, like TikTok or Facebook or whatever. Just trying to get a bit more in under people's noses. So that's going to be the approach, I think. And like I say, the podcast isn't going anywhere. The episodes will always be up, and of course the book's always there too. There is going to be a second book, which I haven't even started. So I'll give you a bit of a behind the scenes now. So obviously the There's No Place Like Summer Camp, that book that's out now, is all about the first year of volunteering as a Brit at an American summer camp. Oh, Jesus. And now, that was like the best year of my life. It was sick. But that second, at the end of that experience, I knew that I wanted to return for a second year. And so there'll be a second book. I don't think it'll be as long as 6 years to edit, because now I've got all that experience. But there'll definitely be a period where I'll be having to edit and get that second year experience in and see how it compares to the first. So those are the projects. That's the project I have in the back of my mind for maybe like the third run of podcast episodes. Will be about that second year, because to be honest, I've sort of, I don't know what the word is, like blacked it out from my mind, the second year, a lot of it. There's a lot of dark periods in there. This is a very nice neighbourhood here. Very nice. looking for houses at the minute. If anyone's got any going, anyone selling a house? Hello, anyone? No? Let's go this way. So there'll be a second book eventually. Might be a number of years until then. I don't think it'll be as many as 6, but it'll certainly be probably 2 if I had to put my guess out there. So yeah, it's a bit strange, to be honest. I'm not saying that this is the end of the episode or the end of the podcast. I wish it was the end of the episode. Jesus Christ, when I have to have my phone to my head, talking into my phone. But no, it's been good fun. I just think it's not really the most sensible use of my time, and I think I've covered so many topics now that I just need to take a step away to take 2 steps forward, if you know what I mean. So I thought about the most important podcast ideas that I had in the back of my head, and I thought about what's the most important one on that list that it'd be nice to cover in this closing of series 2 of There's No Place Like Summer Camp, the podcast. And I thought, why did I release There's No Place Like Summer Camp? That's quite an interesting subject, so we'll touch upon that now. So when I went to summer camp for that first summer, it absolutely changed my life. It was insane. It took me from someone that was very sheltered. I say I still am, still an introvert, someone without much life experience, to someone that had actually signed all the documents, done all the interviews, paid all the money, had the visas, had the passport, had the suitcase all ready to go for what would be something that I had no idea how good it would be. I'd only heard about how good it was from other people that had either done it or sort of hearsay, word of mouth of how good it is. So I took a bit of a leap of faith to be I need to break out of this mundane town that I live in, and the sort of quality of life that I was used to. It was quite subdued. So I took a bit of a risk, put in, I don't know, I think it's about £1,000 to go, not knowing anyone or anything. And I walked away with tons of stories, tons of experiences, and tons of friends. And my eyes opened up to the world. And that's essentially what the camp did to me. And I knew I had to spread the word. So it was always something that I've always done, really, is keep a diary. And that's one of the good habits that I sort of kept from probably since I was about 16 till probably about 23. So there's a good period of my life where every night before I'd hit the sack, I'll sit there on my phone typing away the notes of what had happened that day. And it would literally it could be as boring as what literally happened step by step of the day, or it could be highlights, and then I would hit the sack. So I knew that I had to take what was such an amazing experience from what was in my diary into something that the general public could really enjoy, educate themselves upon. And I think it was such a niche that's very untapped. I know so many people that have done it. Perhaps it's only because I've done it myself. But I know there's so many people with a fond place of summer camp that are like me. So yeah, the project all started from a dark place, to be honest. Relationship had come to an end. A long-term relationship had come to an end shortly after my second stint at summer camp, and I needed a project to sort of distract me. And that was a good place to start, because I knew I had quality content in my diary entries, and I knew it was a passionate thing that I wanted to get out there. So all these clouds sort of have their own silver linings, you know. And I think that's what I did with this breakup that was really bad for me. I've turned it into sort of like a positive, and something that at the minute has 5-star reviews on Amazon and Goodreads, which is pretty impressive. I'm pretty happy with that. I just hope more people get it into their hands and enjoy the content, really. Obviously, it's my debut book. There's No Place Like Summer Camp. So I did mention earlier that I'm trying to keep myself busy with other projects now. And obviously I want to spread the word of summer camp with the likes of TikTok and other things. But at the minute I'm also working on a children's book, which is so left field. But I need to like break out of the routine of going back through diary entries, translating them into something that people enjoy, adding dialogue that was never there in my diary entries and that sort of thing. And going for like a completely different kind of audience. So yeah, I think that's going to be the next steps. It's going to be a different kind of project. For kids. It's called The Fly That Flew Too High. I hope you guys keep an eye out for it. It'll be on Amazon and other book like websites, or book retailers, should I say. And it's just a project that I've had in the back of my mind for probably not as long as 6 years, but probably about 2. It's a really weird story actually of how that book really came about, but I'll keep that for another episode, I think. So I've got like a kids book that's written, and I just need to get the ball rolling on that, and that should be out this year, I would hope. Totally different kind of audience, totally different kind of book. It's going to be for probably up to 5-year-olds, so it's a really young audience, but it's something that I'm passionate about. And yeah, it's good, man. It's good. It's a fun story, completely different left field kind of story that has a lot of originality to it, I think. So I hope you enjoy that. But I think that's about it for what's going on in my world at the minute. Maybe I'll do a later podcast on The Fly That Flew Too High when that actually gets released. But I know a lot of you here don't really care about a story for 0 to 5-year-olds. And to be honest, I don't even have a 0 to 5-year-old in my life at the time of recording. So yeah, it's just a different project, and that's how I like to keep myself busy. And I think eventually we'll have the second book launch as well. So I hope to have probably 3 books on the Amazon library within I don't know, maybe 4 years. I'll give myself a bit of leeway there. So hope to have There's No Place Like Summer Camp, which is available now. The Fly That Flew Too High, coming hopefully 2022. Keep losing track of the years with all this pandemic stuff going on. 2022, Fly That Flew Too High, and then There's No Place Like Summer Camp 2, which isn't the title. I've yet to think of a title. And that's going to be about the second year and how that's so different. And yeah, so yeah, I think I've addressed everything that I really wanted to talk about with you guys. Yeah, I've got to thank all your support and stuff. I think if you want to stay in touch, you should really follow me on Twitter. That's probably the best place where I talk all the time. Andrew W09, and that's Andrew spelled ANDROOW 09. That's where I talk, or send all my random thoughts into the world. There's the Instagram too of There's No Place Like Summer Camp, which has more of the summer camp updates, but it's very hard to manage social media, I find, when you're trying to do weekly uploads of the podcast and run a job in your normal time. And everything else really in normal day-to-day life. It sort of gets in the way a little bit, which is a little bit disappointing, but I hope anyone that's listening to this that's going to their first summer or the summer of 2022, I hope you find value in my content. I hope you go and check out the book. I hope you promote it to your friends. And if you do read the book, please leave a review. That would mean the world to me. It's really great to see those that have picked up have really enjoyed it. But the reviews really do help it get it out there. There is also a shop, and I'll try and sort you guys out with a discount code. So if you use... What code should we use? What code? Podcast. Yeah, use the code podcast in the shop of There's No Place Like Summer Camp. You'll be able to get, should we say, let's come up with a figure, 30% off. 30% off for those that use the code podcast in the shop. And that's shop. If you go to There's No Place Like summercamp.com, you'll see the shop, and it sells things like t-shirts and hoodies and that sort of thing. So 30% off. I'll run it until maybe the end of June. I'll be generous to you guys. 30% off till the end of June, just to say thanks to everyone that's been listening. 30% off t-shirts, hoodies, water bottles, towels, all branded with There's No Place Like Summer Camp, and that'd be awesome to see some of you represent at your own summer camps, because man, I miss summer camp every day. I always wish that I'd be going back and again and again and again. One of the questions I recently answered actually on the internet was if I would do summer camp full time as a full-time job. That would be full on. Full-time permanent job every day. And my answer to that was I'd probably give it a shot for a year, and then after the year I'll probably be so drained and sick and tired, exhausted. I don't know if I'll be sick actually. I'll be so drained and exhausted that I'd probably have to go back into the real world after that. Interesting question though. Anyway, thanks for listening. And I shall see you around. Cheers guys, thanks for all the support. I don't know when the next one will be, but it's been great. I'll speak to you very soon. Bye guys.